Hey, what's up guys, and welcome to my channel. Today I'm going to be talking about what gear you need to get started in the real estate industry, particularly shooting videos. First, I'm going to go over the gear that I use, and then I'm going to go over a list of minimum gear that you need to get started making high quality, profitable real estate videos. So first and foremost, I use the Canon 80D, which is the camera that I'm actually filming on right now. It has great 1080p, shoots 60 frames per second for the slow motion, which is absolutely necessary for house walkthroughs, and it's quite affordable at around $800 to $900 depending on where you get it. The primary lens that I use for my real estate videos is the Canon 10mm 2.8, which also is the lens that I'm shooting on right now. This lens is absolutely amazing as it gives you a 16mm look on the Canon 80D's crop sensor and has an aperture of 2.8, which allows you to keep the ISO low and keep the footage looking clean. Anything above a 2.8 is going to require you to boost your ISO, which is going to result in grainy footage and just isn't going to look as good. So I recommend a 2.8 lens like this one. A wide angle lens is absolutely necessary when filming houses, as it makes the rooms appear larger and allows you to get everything in the frame. Now keep in mind that this particular lens is a manual lens, so you won't have any autofocus, but that's hardly necessary on a lens this wide as everything is typically in focus when it's set to infinity. So I wouldn't worry about that. You can get this lens on Amazon for around $400 and it's worth every penny. The next lens that I use is the 50mm 1.8, which gives me around a 75mm look on the crop sensor. I use this lens less often and you could probably get away with not using it, but I still recommend it as it's going to help you get close-up detail shots and add to the dynamic and flow of your video, and just overall add to the production value. This lens is amazing and it's quite affordable at $100. Now as far as stabilization, I use the Ronin S to fly my camera. I love the shots that I'm able to get with this gimbal and I highly recommend it as it has a very short learning curve and most anyone can get smooth shots right out the box with it. I personally prefer motorized gimbals for real estate, and you can get this one for around $550 on Amazon. Now the next piece of gear is quite an important one, and that is a drone. When you're filming high-end listings for realtors, aerial footage is a must, and there's really no way around it. Every realtor is going to want you to use a drone to capture the home. Now the drone that I use is the Mavic 2 Pro with the 1-inch Hasselblad sensor. I also got the Smart controller to go along with it. Also, when flying drones in direct sunlight, you'll want to pick up some ND filters to block out the excess light. Now, I personally got the Fly More combo, and I'm not gonna lie, it was pretty expensive at around $2,500 for the whole setup, making it easily one of the most expensive pieces of gear that I own. Now for real estate videos, this is absolutely overkill, and you don't need a drone this expensive, so don't let that worry you. I'm going to go over alternative options to all the gear that I've talked about in this video later on. And I know not everyone has that much money laying around, so what should you get if you're just starting out? The minimum camera that I would recommend is the Canon Sl. With this camera, you're really not even going to be sacrificing much image quality when comparing it to the Canon 80D as they use the same exact sensor. Same 1080p at 60 frames per second, and it's half the price at $450 on Amazon. And as you can see, you can still get crazy good shots with the camera at this price point. As for lenses, I still recommend the ones that I use. If you go any cheaper, it's really going to reflect in your video quality. A 2.8 aperture is necessary for real estate in my opinion, and the lenses that I mentioned previously are still quite affordable. Now the Ronin S is still quite expensive, but if you can swing it, I would seriously recommend it as it's going to cut your learning curve in half. But if you don't have the budget, not to worry. You can get something called the Flycam Red King, which is about $200, and this is the type of gimbal that I personally started out with. You can still get crazy smooth shots with something like this, but do keep in mind that the learning curve is quite steep and it's gonna take a few months to really get it nailed down. But like I said, if you're willing to put in the effort and learn it, you're still gonna get crazy good shots and save a little bit of money. Now back to the drone. As I mentioned earlier, I used the Mavic 2 Pro and the whole setup was around $2,500. Like I said, this is totally overkill for real estate, and if I was just doing real estate, I would probably get something like the DJI Mavic Air, which comes in at around $800 and is gonna give you really awesome 4K drone footage that is going to get the job done perfectly fine. If you need to save even more money, you could get something like the DJI Spark, but I really don't recommend this drone as the limitations are quite severe when comparing it to the Mavic Air or the Mavic Pro. But if you need to skimp on anything, this is what I'd get, as you'll probably be able to get away with it for the first few videos. Now this setup is around $2,000, which is still expensive for a lot of people I know. but it will seriously pay itself off in just a few videos if you do it right. You can't expect people to invest in you if you're not willing to first invest in yourself. And that's something I took to heart when I started my video business, and it's really paid off. Trust me guys, if you're willing to just save up the $2,000, get the equipment, get in with some realtors, it's all going to pay off in the end. Well, there you have it guys. I'm gonna go ahead and put a link to my kit.com in the description so you can go and check out all the gear that I talked about, and use my affiliate links if you'd like to purchase any of that, which would help me out immensely. And I would appreciate it very much. Make sure to like this video and subscribe as it helps the channel out immensely. And go ahead and start a conversation down in the comment section. What questions do you have for me about real estate? Thanks again for watching. That's all for today, and I will catch you guys in the next one.